All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are back again for yet another Moonshire Monday. Haven't missed any yet. It's been going on for a few months now, and still have been here every single Monday for Moonshire Monday. Thank you all for joining. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat already. Arrow on Twitch, hi, welcome in. Ccat, Zoaib, we got Borger, Retromech, Gellerme, Laptop, Loggy, Allfather, welcome. Legendary Connor, Adam, thank you so much for joining. Today, no particular plans as usual, but I wanted to talk about one thing that I'm working on, because I was working on the tiles and working on the, what do you call it, the enemy AI, the enemy pathfinding. So, what I was struggling with is, you can see all these dots. I use these dots to help with pathfinding. But what I'm struggling with is when I spawn an enemy and it follows being very smart, like, it still gets stuck. Okay, he was able to get around it that time, but he was still kind of dumb. Yeah, look, I can get him stuck like this. Why is he doing that? That's really annoying. He shouldn't be doing that. Pathfinding is really difficult? Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a huge pain in the butt, honestly. But what I think is happening... is if we look at the collisions, I think that what's happening is the enemy is trying to go towards this point right here, like this orange one, but the straight line still causes him to collide with this corner of the tree. And that is a problem, obviously. So I don't really know exactly what to do about that. And what's weird is that it didn't used to be a problem, because I made a video about this pathfinding stuff over a year ago, and it worked perfectly fine there. So I probably just screwed something up. It's some sort of library. No, this is all custom coded by me. It became a Pokemon game, a little bit. At least the music did. So that's something I'll be working on later on. I don't think I'll be able to figure it out on stream because pathfinding is complicated. So why is he attacking constantly? Yeah, so he's like kind of smart. He's able to decide on a new dot to go towards, but he does get stuck. Like, what is he doing right there? Okay, I guess he figured it out. Actually, I know something that can help, is that he keeps attacking. Here, look at this. So, this is a problem with the attacking logic, actually, because the way the enemy decides if it should tackle or not is just if the enemy is close enough to the player, it's going to attack. And if I move far away enough, he's going to stop attacking and start moving again. So, I mean, he's still stupid. What I think he's doing is, I think he's trying to walk from here to here. So, like, a straight line path to that is not going to work out. Come on, come on. There we go. So, I think he's doing something like this. Like, hitting the tree on his way to this orange point. So that's what I think the problem is. Make him break the tree. I probably won't do that. It's a little bit intense. Also, hopefully the stream's not lagging. It looks like it is a little bit. I'm looking extra handsome today. Thank you, Adele. Appreciate that. I got a haircut, actually. I think that is the key to looking a little bit extra handsome. Make him avoid all trees. That's what I'm trying to do. So you can see that the orange points are the viable spots to walk towards. It's okay for an enemy to walk towards any of these orange points. But the blue ones, or the purple ones, you're not supposed to be able to walk towards those. And it's true. The problem was that the enemy is just... Well, right now he's attacking constantly, but even then, he's walking towards this point at an angle. But I don't know how to make him, like, curve a little bit more. I'm gonna have to think of some clever trick or something. So one thing I could do is I can make the tree's hitbox have rounded edges. I think that would help. Can you put more than one point on the tile? I could. I don't know if I want to do that, though. I think what instead I should do is... I think... So actually I can show, maybe... It's so hard to tell, but you can see the flashing lines. Each of those flashing lines is when it's checking to see if the path towards a point is clear. And you can see that they're very You can use raycasting. So what I'm doing here is the enemy is constantly making raycasts towards each of the orange points, right? And it's checking to see, is there a straight unobstructed path from here to this orange dot? And it's doing that for all the orange dots. And in his case, right now, there is an unobstructed path from here to this point. There's nothing obstructing the path. So that's why he's going towards it. So instead, what I think I need to do is I need to do raycasts from the sides of the enemy. Like, start the raycast not from the center, but start it from the edge of the enemy, which is a little bit more complicated. That would mean I would need to probably do 2 raycasts, one on each side. That's not a problem, though. He is stuck in 4 purple dots. He's cut from all paths. No, it's not like that. He's able to choose any point. Even he could even choose this point all the way over here. So just because he's surrounded by purple doesn't mean he's stuck. Because if he's surrounded by purple, he would just choose one of these orange dots, and he is. He is looking at this point right here, and he's trying to go directly from here to here, but the corner of the tree is catching him. So it's a straight path, and it's unobstructed, but this corner of the tree is catching it. So that's why the raycasts, these flashing lines, they're coming from the center of the enemy, and instead they should be coming from the edge of the enemy, like 2 raycasts. Because if the raycast was as wide as the enemy is, it would catch the corner of this tree, and it wouldn't try to go for this dot here. It'd try to go for a different one. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm not going to do that now because that's going to take a while, and it might be a little bit complicated. But that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Moonshire, pass, welcome in. I went through this too. It's exactly that. The line doesn't consider the enemy's entire body. Yeah, and actually the reason why this didn't used to be a problem is I'm gonna actually pull up my old YouTube video on this topic because I think it's gonna demonstrate exactly why it's a problem now, and it wasn't a problem with my old version of this. So I'm gonna try and find the video. Instead, try. So if we take a look at how I did raycasts,
attacking.
Look at how I did raycasts before. They were like a big, wide circle.
The enemy won't attack.
So my current raycasts are straight, skinny lines.
The enemy will see
but how they were
and pursue.
before
The
is like
same
this.
sort of
Is they were
logic
like the
can be
big
applied to this
circles.
pursuing state to prevent
So that these, like,
Wall
the fatness of the raycast is what helped prevent it from catching onto corners. Yeah, the old version used the entire body to create the line, and that's part of what made it work. Can you thicken the line so that it recognizes? You know what I should do? You know what I can do? Is I can change it into a rectangle. Instead of doing a line, I can make it a big rectangle, and it'll catch more. I'm gonna do that. I think I can do that now while I'm on stream. Oh, let's try. Let's see, where would that happen? Raycast. No. Line. Has line of sight. This might be a little annoying. Can we add 3D models in top-down games like the characters in MOBA games? Well, those are just 3D games. But yeah, in a top-down game, you would still use a 3D engine. It's still a 3D game. But the camera's just situated on top looking down, and the objects are still 3D models. Yeah, so in this function has line of sight, it's doing a query line, world query line. And instead, I think I'm going to change this to world query rectangle, because then it can be like a fatter line, basically. So a long rectangle is just a line that's really fat. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this as... So this is a from to. I'm also going to say thickness. And I'm going to get rid of this. Now the tricky part is I need to figure out what the points of this rectangle are, because... I can't actually remember the parameters because it's going to be a little bit weird. Above 2D. Actually, this is a wind field. This is a wind field function, so I'm going to have to find wind field. Winfield. Query rectangle. Okay, here we go. Oh man, I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think this is gonna work because I think query rectangles, you can't rotate the rectangle. I don't think that you can. Unless it's using, oh, it is using polygons. Okay, I might be able to. How about I query a polygon instead? Not a rectangle, query polygon area. I think this is what I need to do. Because rectangles in Winfield only, they don't rotate. And I need it to be able to rotate. TK4TK, welcome in, thank you. Yeah, I can script a solution, but it wouldn't be in Lua. Yeah, so I'll be able to figure it out. I think that once I figure out this thickness thing, it'll be fine. So we don't want this. I hope I can do this on stream. I sometimes get distracted while I'm coding on stream. Crown Sheep, welcome in, thank you. Vedon Chaser, make GTA 6. I wish I could. That'd be so cool. Just use sine cosine to rotate. Yeah, so it's more complicated than that because we're using a function called query polygon area or query line or query rectangle. And if that function doesn't support rotating the rectangle, then I just can't do it. But what I could do is I could go back into the init.lua and update Winfield myself. And actually, that's probably what I should do. No, I don't think I can. I don't think I can because I don't think I can. I think I'm instead going to just use query polygon area. I think that this will work just fine. So in order to do query polygon area, we need to decide what the vertices of this polygon are. So I'm going to actually pull up Paint to kind of explain what I'm going to do. It's going to be a little bit complicated. It's going to use some math. So if this is the player, actually I'm going to draw the player. How about this? Let's give him cute little eyes. Wow, that's not very cute at all. But there he is. And then let's say the enemy is over here. There he is. And then, so what I was doing is I was drawing a line from here, the middle of them, directly to the player. And that's a problem because if an obstacle is, if an obstacle is right here, damn it, I don't know how to use Paint very well. So let's say this is a tree, and then we'll draw the line again. I'm an artist, dude. Yeah, I know. So that's what was happening before, okay? Is the line is being drawn from the enemy to the player, and as long as this line is unobstructed, it's going to try to walk towards that point. But what's happening is this line is missing the tree, the corner, and so the enemy's hitbox is just clipping onto the corner and getting stuck. Did I become Pirate Software? Does he use Paint all the time? Don't tell me, it's Monday again. Welcome in, Prosto. So what instead I'm going to do, instead of using a line, I'm going to use a rectangle. And that means that I'm going to start from here. Whoops, I'm going to start from, man, I'm so bad at Paint. I'm going to do there, and then it's going to draw from there to there, and then from there to there. There we go. So that's what my goal is instead of a line, it's going to be a big rectangle, and that way it's going to catch any like edges like on this tree over here. A sphere cast. And that's what I did in the YouTube video. It basically is a sphere cast, but the problem with the sphere cast is that it was just querying multiple spheres over and over again, and that's just not very performant. A rectangle like this is just one query, a lot better than my sphere cast that I was doing on my old video. Let's see. So, with that in mind, the tools you're using don't support rotating rectangles. Yeah, unfortunately, if we take a look at this query rectangle, so this is the function that I would use to query rectangles in my game engine, but you can see that it only accepts an x, y, width, and height. This is just what it collides with. So the only dimensions you can pass into this rectangle is the position of the rectangle and the width and height of the rectangle. There's no option for you to pass in the rotation of it or the anchor point, because that's another concern there. Once you pass this in, all it is it's changing it into a polygon. It's changing it into a polygon and querying it using the polygon shape. Like this. So there is nothing stopping me from updating this function to accept a rotation value, and then I myself code in like that process of calculating this new polygon that accounts for rotation. However, I don't really think I want to bother with that. I think instead I just want to use query rectangle, or sorry, query polygon area, and pass in the vertices. So then the question is, how do we get that list of vertices? What we're looking for is like position 0, 0, and then position like 100, 10, or 20, and then... So like, it's just a list of points. So I need to get 4 points. This is point 1, point 2, point 3, and point 4. So I need to create some list of points that create this rectangle from here. So essentially, I'm trying to find this point, this point, this point, and this point. And once I have those 4 points, I can put them into the query polygon, and then that will be the query rectangle. Now, we don't have the exact points of the rectangle. Instead, we have... I'll pull it back up, actually. Oh my gosh. This is driving me nuts. So we don't have any of those green points. Instead, right now, we only have this point and this point. So using those 2 points, I need to get this one, and then the other ones. How to get the AI assistant? It's not really an AI assistant. So in Visual Studio, there's an extension called GitHub Copilot. And that's just all I'm using. GitHub Copilot is a paid service. It does cost money. And all it does is it gives you like the code complete. So I could say like local obstacles. And then it gives me something. It gives me some code that it thinks would work. And I could just press tab and it creates that code for me. Now the problem is, this isn't real. Like this code it just gave me is this is nonsense. This isn't a real function that I can use. Like this function does not exist in Winfield. This is completely fake. It made it up. And I just know that it's fake because I know the code very well. So that's one bad thing about GitHub Copilot, is that if you don't understand the code perfectly, then the code that it produces for you will often be incorrect or wrong. Like this code is almost correct. I would just need to change this to query like polygon, and I don't know. It's still not very good, but a lot of the times it is. It just depends on the situation. The more guidance you give it, the more likely it is that the code it produces will be accurate. How about sending to some parallel rays? Yeah, that's better. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. That's way better. Okay. Changing the direction of what we're gonna do, because that's way smarter. There's no need to do a rectangle. I'm so bad at clicking on things. I keep clicking on the wrong things. It drives me nuts. Okay. Per Prosto's suggestion, instead of a rectangle, we don't need a rectangle. All we need is the 2 sides of the rectangle that matters. All we need is this side and this side. That's all we need. Thank you for the suggestion. That's way easier and way better. So instead of... We don't actually need to change this function at all. We can just use line of sight. And we don't need thickness either. Yeah, we don't need any of this. I can just undo all these changes. Except for that one. back to line of sight. So I'm gonna say local. I'll say left pass equals this one. Now this isn't EX. This is why we need to use some math. Because we have EX and EY and TX at TY, but those points are these middle points. So, whoops, come on, I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. I'm so bad at clicking on things with dumb program. I am so sick of paint. I hate using this dumb program. I am getting so mad. I can't believe how mad I'm getting. So the points we have are this point right here in the middle and this point here in the middle. And the problem is now we need to offset those points to the left and to the right. So let's actually redraw this image. The image is more like if this is line 1 and this is line 2 and I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. I'm so angry. This is the first time I'm like raging so hard on stream. I'm actually mad. I'm so pissed off. It is driving me nuts. Oh my gosh, I'm so irritated. Let's change this to the green point is the enemy. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I am so pissed off. I'm so mad at this dumb program. Okay, green circle. And then after you do the green circle, you have to click off of it like an idiot and then go to the red circle. Man, I feel so dumb. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do is I need to move these points to the left and to the right so that I can do those parallel ray casts. Let's make sure I can see all this stuff. Okay, so this is the one we need. Left pass has line of sight, and we need a right pass as well. Hydrate, thank you. Just joined the stream and I see 2 sticks. Yeah, it'll make sense in a second. So I'm gonna change this to if left pass and right pass. Because both of these passes need to be successful. Both of the sticks need to be successful in order for this table.insert to happen. Now the problem is we're not going from EX to TX and EY to TY. We need to do the offset. So I'm gonna get the dir vector, or I'll say dirvec equals get from to vector. Normalized, perfect. So now this is the direction that the point is, this is the direction that these lines are going. So we have the dir vec. Now we need to find the actual points, this new EX and EY. We'll say fx, fy from x from y equals... This is close. And also we need a thickness. I'm sorry I'm not being super interactive with the chat today. I'm trying to actually code this right now. Thickness. I'll say the thickness is 6. I'll make this customizable in a second. But we're gonna change this to 6. Let's do it one at a time. One at a time. Coding on stream is like it's like 10 times harder than coding by myself. Be careful when creating the line inside a wall. It'll be indicated as fault. Yes, you are right. In fact, I'll show you this. You are completely right about that. And in order to help account for that, if I turn on the hitboxes, I hope it shows it. It doesn't look like it is. It looks like there's too many queries happening because every single frame, every one of those dots is checking like a big perimeter around it because of exactly what you said, is that if the dot is inside of a wall, it won't calculate correctly. In fact, you could kind of see it where inside of the tree, it was still orange. Like, let's see. Yeah, like, what the heck? Why is it orange inside the tree? It should not be orange inside the tree. That's a mistake. But I think it's just because I'm in the middle of something. Yeah, it's because I'm in the middle of coding this, so it's all screwed up. So this isn't dirvec.x. It's actually I'm gonna call this local perpvec. No, not get perpendicular. It's dirvec rotated math to pi divided 2. Okay. And actually, I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. Thickness is 6 times thickness. So now we have the perpendicular vector, and then we're going to do this. We don't need 6 here. And then local fy. Yeah, that's right. And then the 2 is the same thing. Yeah, look at this. This is a little bit... This isn't the cleanest code. I'll clean it up in a second. But this is definitely going to work. And then we need to do the same thing. We need to say fx and fy and then tx and ty. And then we need to do the exact same thing down, except we need to say minus. Talking about code, do you follow object-oriented programming and design patterns? Yeah, in general. So Lua isn't an object-oriented language, but I do organize the code as if it was. And tables are strong enough, and they're customizable and flexible enough that you're able to kind of do that. So to help understand what I'm doing here, because this is a lot of junk. Oh, also I need to get rid of these locals. Get rid of local, because these variables are already initialized. Okay, so let's go through this step one by one with the picture that I drew. I am so pissed off at Paint. I cannot stand this program. It is driving me insane. So what I'm trying to do here is, if this orange line is... No, say this yellow line. That's like invisible. I'm gonna try a different color. How about gray? Okay, so the gray line in the middle, that's the line that we had to start with. That's where we started with. So what I needed to do is change this line into 2 lines, the orange ones on the sides. And the question is, how do you get those orange lines? You get them by taking the gray line and making it perpendicular, and then shrinking it down to the width of our rectangle. So since the line here is going straight up, making it perpendicular, we turn it this way, and then shrinking it down to the thickness, like this. So now we have a perpendicular version of our direction vector. And then I'm just using that vector, I'm putting this vector over here, I'm putting it right here. and right here. And that's how I'm getting these endpoints for the orange lines, is I'm taking this perpendicular vector, and in the code, perpendicular vector, I'm adding it to the points, .x and .y, because it's just the direction vector on its side shrunk down to the thickness of our rectangle. And the thickness right now is hard-coded to 6, but I can set that according to each individual enemy. And I do think this will work. Let's try it out. So if I summon an enemy, it should have... Oh, I need to turn on the hitboxes. So right now, he is still doing just one single line. But that's because he can see me. He starts doing the multiple lines whenever he can't see me. Okay. It might have looked like it didn't work, but it actually did. It actually did work. So he gets stuck like this because he's constantly attacking. He's constantly attacking, and I need to fix that. But if I move far enough away, he's going to stop attacking and move around the tree. He is smart. He's actually getting it. But I need to fix it so that he has to have line of sight in order to do his tackle. So, let's see, proximity check. Okay, I think this is the problem. So this proximity check, this is how it decides if it needs to tackle or not. And the tree dot is still yellow. Yeah, I don't know why. I'll see if I can fix that in a second. Maybe it's because, actually, maybe it's because the circles are too big. That's annoying. I think it's because it's too big. I could have sworn I had it hard-coded in here. Did you ever stuck in Lua limitation of locals? Is there a limitation on the number of locals you can have? I didn't know that. We are getting some legit coding today. Yeah, we are. And as a result, that means I'm not talking quite as much, and I think the view count's a little bit down because of it. But it's my own fault. Sorry, being stupid. No, you're not being stupid. You're being fine. I appreciate the chatting. Thank you. Add a horse to move around quickly. That's actually a cool idea, honestly. So this proximity check needs to also check line of sight, I think. Get desk position, dx, dist to dex, dest. Yeah, so all I need to do is add line of sight check to this line. So when the enemy is approaching the player and the distance is close enough to the player, then that's when they attack. But there needs to be more to this line here. It's not just if your distance is close enough. Because if only the distance is close enough, then the enemy is going to ignore the tree. The enemy is just going to get stuck on the tree because it's constantly attacking the tree. Like this. It's not checking to see if it can see the player at all. It just knows that it's close enough to the player and is just going to mindlessly attack. It's never going to stop because it sees that I'm close enough to the player. It doesn't check line of sight. So instead, I need to also do a line of sight check here from EXDX and has line of sight from EX EY to DX DY. Do I need to pass anything else? Nope. Then, okay, so that's going to fix that issue. Hey man, sorry if this has already been mentioned. Found a bug when I tried the demo a few weeks ago. Being on a tight inner corner of tiles, it causes you to fall and respawn on the corner often. Yeah, I think I've noticed the same thing. Thank you for reporting that. I've noticed that too. I'm having trouble kind of figuring out the exact conditions that lead to that happening. But yeah, I've done that too. So if I dump a lot of locals in code, I'm assuming counts in all in... Sorry. If I dump a lot of locals in code, I'm assuming counts all in current and all parent scopes. You could kind of exhaust all of them. Well, no, because when you say something's local, it's local only to this like function. So if I put a local, if like all these, I bet there's multiple EXs in this file. Yeah, look, so like EX, local EX exists here, but it also exists here. And honestly, I bet there's more than that. Yeah, there's 4 instances of this happening in this one file. So all of these locals can have the exact same name. And that's the point. When you put this local variable in there, or when you call it local, that means that these variables only exist in this little section. And that way I can have EX and EY in multiple places, and it's isolated to the specific function that it's. In fact, I could put a local variable in here. I could say local test x equals 10. And then I could have a separate, well, I couldn't have a separate one. Because now test x only exists in this little section. It wouldn't work right here. If I try to say print test x, I'm pretty sure that would crash the code because test x is local to this section. It wouldn't work here. Or maybe it's by function, I can't remember. But either way, there's no shortage of local EX, EY. In same time, we have like you have a situation when you have 200 active locals. I'm not sure what you mean by that. No need for a local if it's going to be global. Well, the reason why is because this is constantly being rechecked. I don't think you want to have too many global variables because, like, if I just said global intent, well, now anywhere in my entire code, like any file, it will see the word intent and think it's talking about this specific instance of it. But there's lots of intents because every enemy has its own intent. Hope I'm having a good day. Thank you, Allfather. Locals are faster than globals in Lua. Yeah, that's probably true. So I use locals whenever I can. I got sidetracked. I don't even remember what I was working on. Oh, I was working on the attacking code, whenever that was. So let's see if that fixed that issue where it's constantly slamming the tree. I think it will fix it. It did not fix it. TK4TK says, hello from the Twitch side. Thank you for joining on Twitch and on YouTube. I appreciate both. So, my fix didn't work. He's still mindlessly attacking. If I move far enough away, he's smart enough to get out of it. But my fix did not work. You know what? I think this is somewhere else this needs to happen. Proximity. That's one aggressive slime, yeah, I'll say. The tree isn't blocking his view. It is. It is. I understand you're looking at the orange dot that's in the middle, and that is a problem. I will fix that. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is that the enemy knows that it's close to the player. It knows that it's only like 20 pixels away, because the player's right here. So the slime knows that the player's right here, but it's not currently doing a line of sight check to see if there's something blocking that path. It's not looking at the dots right now is what I'm saying. Only when I move far enough away, that's when it uses the dots. So that's why when I stand close to the tree, he gets stuck attacking, but when I move far enough away, he moves out of the way. Is this? Yeah, he's falling from the sky. Look. Whee! Ah! Okay, let's see what's going up. I don't know why it's doing that. This is tricky. Because I don't know why it's doing that. How far is enough to sway? I don't know. It just depends on the attack, actually. Because some attacks go really far and some of them don't. Slime army, yeah, basically. What is used for seeing when not proximity dots used for pathing? I'll show you, actually. I'll be able to show it. So if I pull up the hitboxes... So it's a little hard to see, but you can see there's a line going from... You can see it there very well. There's a little line going from the enemy to the player. It's flashing a little bit. And that line is checking its line of sight. So if the enemy is able to just see the player, then it's just going to move towards the player in that specific direction. But if that line is blocked, that's when it uses the tiles. And it's not using the tiles right now. Look, actually, you can kind of see it. It's really hard to see on stream, I'm sure. But it's trying to go to this line. Or maybe it's not. No, he's just constantly attacking the player because he knows that he's close enough. But before tackling, he needs to check if there's line of sight. Level up with the bot saying the music. Yeah, I love the bot. What I can't figure out is how to get it working on YouTube because like I can't get Mix It Up to connect with YouTube at all. I'm gonna need to join their Discord server and figure it out. I'm sorry that you guys aren't getting the music names on YouTube, but I'm working on it. I really want to get that fixed. For messy code, yeah, that's exactly how it works. Doesn't that mean he thinks the line of sight was off to the side? No, not exactly. He's trying to find a good direction to go, but the main problem is that he's choosing to tackle when he should be approaching. So that happens. I don't know where that would happen. Just make him know that there's an obstacle in between, which is not the player. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. And all of this, it does do that, just not in that one instance. That's the problem. Firecat, welcome in. Looks like it moves enough to see the player around the tree slightly. I don't think it's that. I think instead it's just not doing the line of sight directly at the player. I think that it just sees the proximity to the player, but not line of sight. And I can't remember where I do that. I thought it was in proximity check. It probably is. I'm going to see every place that I call proximity check. Move update triggers next action for certain intents. Yeah, this proximity check does need it needs a line of sight check too. Cause all it's checking is dist to dest. Oh wait, I did already add this. Shoot, I'm dumb. I think the LOS needs to be a rectangle also. Yeah, and I'll do that. That's what I was showing. I can't click on things. That's what I was showing in Paint right here. I was trying to do a rectangle. And I did actually. I did fix that in one of these. Oh my gosh, this is so messy. This is a weird stream, isn't it? Because I'm barely paying attention and I'm trying to do this coding, but I keep losing my train of thought. I hope it's not too annoying to watch. So if indent attack, this is where it happens, and has line of sight, but it doesn't have line of sight. Maybe line of sight's messed up. No, that wouldn't make sense. I gotta admit, I am struggling a little bit. I tried to make an attack towards the mouse, but making it play around the player was just too hard for me. So I just made an attack to the player direction. I think that's fine. Anyone knows where to get a nice tile set? itch.io. Go to itch.io and search for like pixel art tile sets. There are so many, and it is really, really good. That's what I use a lot for my game. That if statement is going true. According to your debug, the line of sight is registering not on the player, so it thinks it's close enough and has line of sight. Yeah, that's what I think is happening, is that something about this line isn't working. Because here, let's try something else. I'm gonna say print proximity is true. So I'm gonna put this print statement in there. I need to remove a different one that I put in, because I think that I put in a really annoying one. That's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these. Print using LOS versus proximity. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. In line of sight, also check if there is a tree/wall in between. Yeah, that is what I'm trying to do. I searched up enemy pathfinding in Lua, and the first thing I saw was your video. Awesome! That's kind of cool. So where was that print we were looking for? It was an enemy action, I think. Yeah, proximity is true. So with this, we're gonna see. As you can barely see it, it's very small, but I'm hoping that it'll tell us when the proximity is true while it's attacking. Oh, I just crashed the game. Why did that happen? I just crashed. I crashed everything. That's not good. How? What did I do? What? How did I crash the game? That print statement crashed the game? Why? That was weird. Why did that happen? Okay. So, if you look closely at my print output, it's really small. I'm sorry about that. But, actually, I can make it bigger. Whoops. There we go. So, if you look really closely, the proximity is true is popping up. Like, you can see the proximity is true print statement. It does pop up every time he attacks. And that's the part that I'm struggling with, because that should never happen. It shouldn't ever, if there's a line, like there's something in between me and the enemy, proximity should not be true. Hydrate, thank you. So, the question is, why is that true? It should not be true. Wow, how do you use console? I was thinking about creating to see the prints. Yeah, that's a good question. So, in a Love2D project, you have your main.lua, right? Main.lua. And main.lua is at the root of your project. You can put one other file at the root of your project called conf.lua. I mean, you can put lots of other files in the root, but love.conf or conf.lua, this file here, needs to exist at the root of the project. So right next to main.lua. And then that's where you can change things like the title of the window. I changed it to Moonshire. That's where I changed the icon of the window, some like little other settings. And the other one is the console. If I'd set this to false, then the console won't pop up when the game starts. And if I set it to true, it does pop up when the game starts. So whenever I release the game on Steam, or like whenever I push a new update, I always change this back to false because I don't want the console to pop up when people are just playing the game normally. I keep it to true only when I'm developing. So that's how you do that. By the way, do you have an in-game console with some nasty cheats? Not exactly, but I do have the debug menu. So I'm able to warp around to different areas or like spawn weapons and stuff. So I got something. Can't you just make a check for the player after a few frames? That's, again, that's what I'm trying to do. I thought that's what this code is doing. What I don't get is why that's not... Maybe I didn't save? Did I not save? That would be crazy. That doesn't make sense. I definitely saved, didn't I? Yeah, he's being dumb. He's being big dumb. Oh! No, that's not it. Thing to add to it, sometimes it would be easier to just type spawn blorbo xy. That would be nice, because if I want to do something like that, I have to pre-prepare the command. Well, it would be nice if I could do some of that stuff on the fly. Where can I find good player sprites? On itch.io. Check out itch.io. There is tons of sprites and assets. It is really, really nice. Let me cook. No, I want to keep talking to chat. But I do also want to understand better why this is not working. So dx and dy. I wonder if this is right. Get desk position. I wonder if this dest is incorrect, because this would only work if the dest was target. So maybe dx and dy aren't the player's position? Okay, how about this? We're going to print... it's possible that the enemy isn't at a dest of the target. So let's say print enemy dest end.dest. How about that? So not using the dots on screen. So it is. I understand that there's a problem where this like orange dot is in the middle of the tree when it shouldn't be. I don't remember why it's doing that. It's because I changed something in a second ago. What the heck? Yeah, it's a little messed up. I don't know why that's... I swear, earlier I added an extra circle query. Tile states. Circle. That's so weird. I could have sworn it was. Something's weird. What references do you use for your character? My main character? I think that to figure out the hood shape, I think I looked at Shy Guys from Mario, or the Shy Guy sprite from Link's Awakening specifically, because it's kind of a similar shape, and it has a hood, but it's still really different, and the walk cycle is completely custom. Tony helped me a little bit with the walk cycle, but a lot of that was me. The yellow dot appeared when you were messing with pathfinding lines. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's definitely what it is, because I added that thickness. Thickness. Wherever that was. Where is that? I can't remember where I put that 6. thickness. Where was that? Am I dumb? There's not much left to do content on YouTube. Yeah, I'd say that it's kind of limited. Man, coding on stream is like doing it on hard mode. How do you search VS Code? So you can search the files for contents by using the search function on the left, or you can use Control P to search for a specific file. So like if I go to enemy update, I can just do that. I can't remember where I added that thickness line. Here it is. Jeez. I'm being so quiet. I really should bail on this idea just because I'm not talking at all. It's just not fun to watch when I'm just like staring at a screen trying to figure out what went wrong. So the problem is, oh, there's like 20 problems going on right now. So first off, I think it would be wise to figure out why the inside of the dot is no longer like correct. And I can't remember what I did to screw that up. That would have to be in tile state, I think. Can't see player index list? Equals 2? Dis to player. If look for player, did I change this? Look for player? Look for player? Oh, I did. I did. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. This is excellent coding music. Yeah, totally. Is co-programming with the chat? Okay, I'm. If people like it, then sure. I'm glad. But it is kind of embarrassing because normally I could do this a little bit better if I was not juggling a few different things at once. This is good practice for me, though. It's good for me to be able to do more than one thing at once. So it's like this file, it's like this function here got messed up somehow. It's not this, is it? That wouldn't do it. Yeah, that's not it. But what's weird is I didn't change tile state at all. Streamer chat, does anyone ever use Sonic Pi for game ambience? I'm not familiar with that. So this is the line that sets it to orange. Unless you're close enough. So that's where it happens. Look for player. So so the whole problem has to exist in look for player. Distance between. That's fine. $96. Oh. What? That's weird. dist. Oh, my. So annoying. Yeah, the weird part is that I do think the problem is somewhere in here, but I didn't change this file. The other weird thing, did I? I wonder if I accidentally deleted some. Oh, look at this. Uh, that's confusing. Why? Dist player. And if dist player is listed, that's fine. It's less than 256, that's good. It's equals 1. World query line, I mean, yeah. Look for player. And then self.x, self.y, 96. Got tangled up in a bunch of cords. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. And no need to check. No need to check. This is a very weird stream for me because I really don't like the idea of me just being quiet in coding, but I do want to figure out what I did wrong because I did something. You should test out another collision to see if the tree and the it probably does. I guess that's worth checking. That's a good point. Yeah, let's try it with like the fence. Like that wasn't too bad. He was able to get out of the fence. That's kind of cool. No, now he's confused. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that these dots are yellow because he can't get to them. Function has line of sight. I put thickness there. Has line of sight. Yeah, I remember doing that. Yeah, I remember I started editing this because I was going to do the parallel lines thing, but I changed my mind and I didn't do that. Instead, maybe 6 is too big? 6 is kind of big. I mean, that's not why it's doing that, but... And also, this is enemy code. This is supposed to be in tile state. That is so weird. I'm going crazy here because I distinctly remember putting this in, but I must have removed it. Man. 6 what? But yes, it's in pixels. Look for player. Oh, man. So sad. I can't figure it out. Oh, I did have an idea. I forgot what my idea was. It was that the dest isn't right. Print enemy dest. Yeah, so this is brutal. This is brutal. Let's see what the enemy dest is when I do this. Oh, I died. Let's try that again. I'm trying to get the console up. I am within minutes of bailing on this because this is just bad content. Get stuck! This is so annoying. There we go. Now his desk is the target, so that's good. That's what I want. It looks like his target is actually this point. I think I found the problem. I think I did find the problem. I think it's a... I think there's a moment where... You know, I think it's... This is... We're gonna try this instead. I think that it's alternating. This is super complicated. Jeez, I'm so pissed off. So the enemy desk is still target. That's not the problem. I don't think it's this. I think that it must be somewhere else an enemy move. There must be somewhere else I'm not using proximity check where I should be. I bet that an enemy move dist So maybe proximity check is happening multiple times when it shouldn't. Hop update and move update. That's not a problem. The big problem is I promise you. I promise you that the dot inside the tree is not the problem. That is a problem. I should fix it. But that definitely is not the problem. It's not going towards the dot. It's going towards the player because the player is too close. Hello, how am I doing? Hi, welcome in, Jay. How am I doing? It could be better. I've been banging my head against the wall on this dumb bug for so long. Had a final round last week? Awesome! Congrats! I hope that goes well. So enemy has X-ray vision through the tree? I mean, it shouldn't. The whole point is that it's looking towards the player, and if it sees a tree, then it pretends like it doesn't see the player. Hydrate, thank you. Has line of sight. Let's change this from has line of sight to look for player. We're going to change it to this. And that might help. I'll say 128. I don't even know, dude. Does it just get stuck on the edge of a collision when trying to move to a target position? Yeah, there's a few different bugs that are happening right now. The one I'm trying to fix, actually, is that... Okay, I fixed it. I was using the wrong function. Look, I fixed it. Yay! Now, to answer anyone's question on how I fixed it, I don't really know. So, I changed it from... So I have two different functions that I'm working with. There's this function called has line of sight. And in this one, you pass in a from value, or a from point, and a to point. And if the distance between them is 0, so if they're the same point, then it returns true. But otherwise, it's going to do a line from to, and it's looking for any walls. And if it finds a wall, then it returns 0. So I really would have expected that to work. But it wasn't for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why that works. What is EX in this case? It's just the physics position. Yeah, this is not going to... This is not foolproof. I'm not very happy with why... I don't think this should be it. I don't like this at all. I don't want to use look for player. Instead, I want to use has line of sight. That's fine. I think that there's a bug. I think that there's a bug here. I think that I'm missing something important. Because I don't think that this should work. There's no reason this shouldn't work. Get desk position. Does that change? Was gone for a while. Any update? Yeah, I got it working, but I'm not happy with the result because I really want this to be... I really want this to be this one. I really want it to be the has line of sight. Has line of sight. The reason why is because what if the enemy is targeting something other than the player? This is specific. This is hard-coded to always look for the player. But what if the enemy is approaching something else that's not the player? That's the point of has line of sight, is that it doesn't matter what the intention is. It doesn't matter what the destination is. It's just has line of sight from to. If distance between from to, return true. Where am I using this? I wonder if this... Is this just busted? I know it's used in lots of places. Oh, you... Oh my gosh, I wonder. Wait. No, never mind. I'm passing in a max dist here, but that's not actually used. And that's where the bug is? Yeah, I think so. So... My only... If args, then print args. So I'm gonna see if I can figure something out here. This is I hope that this is not, this is the most boring stream ever, but if people are enjoying me bug fixing, then by all means. So we're gonna try this one again. So this is the one that doesn't work, but it should work. And I'm gonna pass in enemy dest n.dest. Because I think the dest value is getting messed up. Oh, whoops. Whoops, where was that? This is in utils 447. Well, I certainly made the game lag. Look at this. Oh, okay, it fixed itself. Yeah, whenever... Look, it's, 256. What the heck? What? This is so confusing. I'm going nuts here. I don't even know what's going on. We're all here to watch the bug fix. Yeah, it is. And it's nice that it's in a better place than it was when I started, because I only got 5 more minutes. I don't know how I'll be able to fix it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the problem is that it's not looking for the players, that it's looking for a tile or something. If intent and intent is equal to approach. What am I going to eat today? Also hydrate? I don't know what I'm going to eat today. I'll decide after stream, I think. Then when you get done with the stream, you immediately check the VOD and you'll be like, duh. Yeah, I mean, probably, but... I am really struggling on this one, I will say. I was working on this last night for a few hours and I couldn't figure it out. Oh, has line of sight. That seems so simple. Dx dy. So I think the problem is that this get dest position is not working right, or it's giving me the wrong destination. I had to fix a bug related to transactions being escalated to MSDTC in our .NET codebase a few weeks ago, and it was nuts. Yeah, you're giving me flashbacks because I used to work in a .NET codebase as well, and yeah, it could be a little bit challenging at times for sure. Can you make a display or a circle, or can you make it? Sorry, can you maybe display a circle or something where it is looking? Yeah, and it is doing that. It's hard to see, but if we look at the enemy and then hold this hitboxes thing, there is a line being drawn from the enemy to where it's looking. And then when I hide behind a tree, you'll see a lot more lines because it's looking for the best tile to go to. So you can see all these lines. It's trying to find the best tile to go to. But the problem is, in fact, I can kind of see it. It's trying to go to this tile. I think I might know. Enemies get target position. This is it. This is where the problem is. This is the problem. So this is definitely where the problem is. The problem is, in this line here, get dest position. It's dy, dx, dy. So if the enemy is trying to attack the player, dx and dy should be the player's position. So if we hard-coded this to always be player.x and player.y, then this would work. What I'm trying to figure out, and we know that it would work because if we use this version, which always looks for the player, it does work. But the problem is, this dx and dy isn't to the player's position using this function. Instead, it's getting a tile position that would instead get us to a better spot to do the tackle. But that's what I thought that this would accomplish, has line of sight, and if it doesn't, it wouldn't start next. I think I need a new function. Local txty equals get target position. It knew. It knew. And we're going to change this to tx and ty. I don't have a function for get target position, but I'm going to make one. Oh, I do. Yeah, I think I'm, I think I screwed this up with this. This function here kind of screwed things up. That totally breaks it. What I'm going to do is... Where was that? I'm going to change this to... gonna write a note for this too, because I do know what the issue is now. So the problem is, bug, dx and dy are being set to the dest tile, not the target. So I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna say hard coding this to player position. Okay, and then we're now using txty. I think that this will work, and we're using line of sight, but this is still hard-coded, so eventually I am going to need to change this line to get the proper dest point, which I thought this was what that would do, but it's not working, so I need to fix it. So this will fix the problem. He'll be able to go around the trees now. So bug fixed. That's good. Yeah, look at that. He was able to go around. But there's still other things I need to fix. I am so sorry that this stream was quiet and slow and weird, but I hope that everyone was able to enjoy it a little bit. This is what bug fixing is like. It is a pain in the butt, but we're at the end of the stream now. It is past 10:30. It's time for me to get some lunch because I am hungry. But thank you all for being here. I will be back again next week for hopefully less bug fixing and more interesting discussion. Like I said, normally I like chatting with the chat. Jaggyman Mailer, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad it was interesting, because I know that some people don't get to see this kind of stuff, but I also want to keep things entertaining, and it feels bad when I can't just chat the whole time, because that's what I like to do. But at least I was able to get some work done. This is what I've been working on for the past couple days, to try and getting this pathfinding stuff better, but it'll get better. Thank you all so much for joining. I will be back again next week. Which tile editor do I use? I use Tiled. T-I-L-E-D. Tiled. It's really nice. It's free. Thank you all for being here, and I will be back next week. Thank you all. Bye.